And Craig Pawson gets us underway as the centre kick is taken short and then launched forward, looking for Semenyo. Nice little turn and touch from him. Referee gives the free kick. He just turned the opposite way from Cabango, who got a little bit tight to him, and he's pulled him down, and this is a perfect start.
I'll tell you what that was brilliant from the kick-off. I've never seen that before. A little bit of combination play in the centre circle. Alex Scott, who took it, then dropped into a little pocket of space, a little bit of one-touch play, and then that ball into Semenyo, and he wins a free kick in a very promising position in the first 20 or 30 seconds.
Well, this is absolute shooting territory. It can't be more than 25 yards, a shade to the left of centre, but pretty much dead centre. And it's going to be fascinating to see who takes this. Cal Naismith is the left-footed option. Alex Scott the right. It's Naismith who's put it down. The referee is taking the wall back to, what, 2 feet inside the 18-yard box. It's a 4-man wall. Naismith looks like his favourite.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Naismith because he spotted the ball.
And we'll wait and see. Naismith it is, walking forward, left-footed, and that is not the best from the big centre-back. I think Alex Scott will get dibs on the next one, because having got a free kick in a great area, that was, what, 2 bars over the bar. It was a good, 3, 4, 5 metres over.
Yeah, he has got that quality. We know we've seen it from corners and free kicks. He has created goals from set plays, but he got that one wrong, which is disappointing. What a start that would have been.
Yeah, as Swansea start play off with a little goal kick, and then it's launched as far as he can by Nathan Wood, but to no one in particular. And that was not the greatest of play.
I've never seen that one before. Like you said, it was a 2-yard pass from the goalkeeper, who basically teed up the centre half to smash it out to play in City's half. And why didn't the goalkeeper just take it?
Well, you would think, having spent most of their time doing that, and if they want to play out from the back, that's fine, because that's the kind of team Swansea are. But I'm pretty sure that that's not what Russell Martin would have drawn up, as City throw it down the line and Tommy Conway forces another throw in a much more attacking situation, almost level with the edge of the 18-yard box. Yeah, I think Wood will want that one back, as the throw-in is taken short. It comes to Pring under pressure, goes back to Naismith. Naismith feigns to go further back, but he turns and plays it forward to Scott. Now Naismith does have no option but to go back to Rob Atkinson, who's quite content to use his goalkeeper. And then wide it goes to Zach Viner. Viner to Semenyo. That's poor from Semenyo. He's got to protect the ball even a lot better than that, but fortunately there are enough red and white shirts back there to deal with it, and it's cleared by O'Leary into midfield, controlled by Allen. Fulton just keeps it moving. Back it goes into defence. Latibaudiere under a little bit of pressure. Oh, that was a dangerous pass. He's got away with it, and it's found Allen now in the centre of the pitch, being closed down by Scott. Back it goes. Cabango stretches but controls it. Just slides it square to Latibaudiere. Now Fulton comes in to get involved. All this along the halfway line, and now Wood hoping for a bit more accuracy with this latest pass. It's only 7 or 8 yards back to Cabango, and as we know, Swansea very keen to maintain possession. Now they go long through the centre-back, but well watched there by Zach Viner, and took that away from Cooper before he had any chance of doing anything. And then unfortunately for him, the ball down the line was not of a similar quality.
Yeah, it was a poor clearance. You can see already that Swansea want to get on the ball, try and dominate possession. Very patient, but all that does is allow City to get back into their defensive shape very, very early and keep the ball in front of them, hopefully.
Joe Allen just shifts that ball square to Grimes. Forward it goes. Fulton, quite tall figure in the centre of the pitch, gets it back to Allen, who's looking to clip it out to this near side. It's a nice ball, but not particularly well controlled on this near side by Perrault. And the foul is on Naismith, and City get the free kick. But that's one thing you don't want to do. We saw Joe Allen here, what was it? It was in the League Cup run, 4 or 5 years ago, when he was playing for Stoke, and he and Charlie Adam just got run all over by City's midfield. But if you give him time on the ball, he will pick a lovely pass.
Yeah, he will. I mean, Matt Grimes is the same, really. That's quite a talented duo in there, you would say, in terms of keeping the ball and passing it. But if you really get up against him, and Nigel Pearson was talking about pressing from the front, go and close the spaces, then they won't be that effective.
Well, Swansea wanted to play it out from the back, but City committing enough men forward to make that difficult. Then it's fired forward, stabbed on by Cooper, but not to anyone in particular. And over the sideline it goes for a City throw. And that's the one thing about the way that Swansea play football. It looks ever so good when they're full of confidence and you're sort of running through teams and just playing it around them. As here, glorious play from Alex Scott. As he fouled? Yes, he is. He got past his man. The referee, I think, to be fair to him, was trying to play advantage when there was none. He's brought it back, and it's another free kick on the edge of the area, albeit this one at the edge of the box, but just another little moment of quality from the youngster.
Yeah, very good. And this is another dangerous position, right on the corner of the 18-yard box over there on the right-hand side. We've seen Naismith already going to get on that ball left-footed. This is going to be in swinging. We know that he can deliver into that area. Can City just get the wrong side of the Swansea defenders and stay on side?
Well, it's just, you just want to be aiming this one maybe just inside the far post and ask somebody to get on the end of it. And if they don't, then you're asking the keeper a question, aren't you?
So you're trying to score from there, I think. Flash it across the goalkeeper's face, and it misses everyone. It goes in the side netting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 red and white shirts in the box. A couple more on the edge of it. Now Alex Scott makes it 7, just creeping inside that 18-yard box. Naismith ready to deliver, left-footed, low, it's right the way in, it's into the keeper's arms. And to be fair, if you're Naismith, you're asking why on earth is somebody not getting on the end of that. But here Swansea looking to try and break quickly, ball into the centre of the pitch. The player slips over, but it's still controlled by Perot, and there's options out wide on the far side. It's a chance to get it into the area, but Manning, while he got it in there, it was always too close to Max O'Leary. That was a real danger, though, and it was noticeable just how many grey shirts were in that attack. Yeah, and they got sort of the wrong side of the City defenders, didn't they? They were getting to that byline. Manning cutting it back. O'Leary intercepted. Really nice, clean, safe pair of hands. 6 minutes in, and that, just going back to that free kick briefly, I'm not sure that it's a bad one from Naismith. It's right into an area that if somebody gets any touch, it's a goal. Yeah, I mean, we called it right across the face of the goalkeeper, and you know, someone trying to attack the near post. It's a bit of a let-off, isn't it, for Swansea? Good ball in, though. Yeah, not quite able to make it count. And the point I was going to make in the build-up to the free kick there was that Swansea are a team, when they're in full flight, it's very difficult to live with them because they pop the passes so beautifully. But when you're just lacking that little bit of confidence, this possession-based football can really highlight some areas where you can get yourself into trouble. Yeah, we can see the way they play, they take chances. The goalkeeper's being a little bit slack with his distribution, and the defenders have touches which allow the forwards from City to go and press up against them. So, yeah, it's a little bit of a chess match at the minute. But it's still 0-0, 7 minutes in this FA Cup third round match at Ashton Gate. It's the away fans making a good noise at the moment. And it's Swansea in possession. Latibaudiere forward to Perot. First time ball down the channel, looking for the run of Cooper, but Atkinson's there to deal with it and gets a nice pass away to find Pring down the line. Pring, has that one curled in and out? Yes, it has, according to the linesman, the assistant referee. And the throw-in taken quickly. Latibaudiere firing it infield to Wood. Wood, space to move into. He takes that, then plays it square to Allen. Almost miscontrols that one, but gets the pass away. Manning looking to try and get past George Tanner. Can't manage it. Does win a throw-in near the halfway line. And you just feel that City know that they're going to have to be patient at times. They know that the visitors are going to have a lot of possession of the ball. But when they get it back, those transitions, they'll be looking to get the ball forward and really attack Swansea quickly. As Latibaudiere gets it back to Cabango. Square to Wood. City have forced them 15 yards back to almost the edge of their own 18-yard box here. Latibaudiere infield. Nice little 1-2, and now the fullback has got space to move into. That's what they try and do. They try and draw you on and then expose the space. Wide it goes. Manning into the edge of the area. Latibaudiere continues his run. His layoff is a little bit behind Allen. Allen picks it up and finds Perot, the Dutchman, looking to cut it back onto his left foot into the danger zone. It's gone through everyone, I think, and the referee does point to a goal kick. That must have gone through at least 3 pairs of legs on the way through, and nobody managed to get a touch. Yeah, it was a clever ball. It was passed in on the floor, wasn't it? And 3 Swansea shirts in there. Thankfully, none of them got a touch, but that was good play from Swansea. Very quick play through the middle of midfield. Joe Allen involved, Matt Grimes involved, and all of a sudden City are chasing back towards their own goal, but nothing come of it in the end. City again looking as if they were thinking about the short goal kick, but are now going to launch it long. Cam Pring is on this near touchline
The ball is towards him. It's a bit infield. He's battling to try and get there. Goes over the top of Fulton. Doesn't win it. Kept in by Semenya. No, it's not. The flag took a little bit of time to go up, but up it went. And the throw in just inside the Swansea half. And Lati Bodier getting it back to his goalkeeper under a little bit of pressure here, looking to try and play football. Very calm and composed from Stephen Bender. Pass in field, and somebody wanted a bit more pressure on that ball, but Cooper, it is deep in his own half, came to get it. That was one of those where they almost got the press right and then just didn't commit quite enough men at the end.
I actually think he passed out the referee. I think he sort of half turned blind and just seen the darker shirt, and there's nobody there, was there? All of a sudden Cooper come and rescued the situation.
Swansea in possession, Manning on the left hand side, tight to the touchline, gives it short to Cooper. No time on the ball there because Zach Viner snaps into the challenge, concedes the throw in, but allows City to get themselves up the pitch a little bit. And the Swansea centre-back certainly going to see a lot of the ball, you feel, as it's worked back once more to Cabango.
Yeah, I mean, they're not hurting City. They're passing the ball. A lot of it's in their own half. They have had one or two really good combinations, but if you just got to watch how much work Semenyo and Conway are actually doing, and they're actually running the legs out of them.
Yeah.
You know, they're not involved in the game, but they're working ever so hard to try and press to win the ball back.
And that is undoubtedly part of the plan. And City it's knowing when to go and when not to, because if you go in dribs and drabs, they'll pass it through you and then you're in trouble. There's a few City subs go out to have a warm-up down this near touchline. Back to the keeper it goes. Just about passed out of trouble there, and they do it well eventually, and now lots of space here for Joe Allen. Allen driving forward, he's got Perot wide to his right, pass forced him a little bit wide. He's going to get there though, almost at the dead ball line, looking to try and get past Naismith, can't do it. Gets a little bit of support there from Cam Pring, and it breaks kindly to Naismith, who gets it forward to Conway, can't hold on to it under pressure from Cabango. Grimes thinking about the shot, clips it forward instead. Good defensive header from Naismith, and Pring's there to complete the clearance up to the halfway line. But it's the visitors who started better. 12 minutes in, goalless, no real chances, you'd say, at the City end for Max O'Leary to deal with, but certainly the visitors having the lion's share of territory and possession.
It does look good when it comes off. I mean, that's all the way back from the goalkeeper, wasn't it? 2 or 3 passes, and again they're attacking City in their own half.
Ball forward there from Matty James, asks Conway to go and battle for it. Goes down under the challenge. Didn't see a great deal wrong with that one, but the referee says free kick to City and they'll take it. And I do think that's a good way to respond when you win the ball back like that in midfield. It's not just launch it to anyone, but getting that ball forward quickly, because Swansea will overcommit. They will put a lot of men forward. You've got to take advantage of that. Yeah,
and I mean, this is the third. This is a good area as well, isn't it? Really, think different take at this time.
Yeah,
like
Matty
James on the ball, right-footed, so different approach, but they're getting free kicks in dangerous positions.
Yeah, it's out wide on the right-hand side, about halfway inside the Swansea half. It looks like it's going to be hung up towards the edge of the area. It's actually clipped towards Semenyo. Joe Allen stretches to stop it getting through to him, but the offside flag was up anyway. Allen wanted to continue, but the referee's whistle had already blown. And that is frustration for City. You get those ones, I'm sure it was only fractional, but got to make sure you take advantage of it by not giving away soft free kicks like that. Ball back to Bender, the keeper. This time he just has to clear it first time because there's no pressure on him. There is pressure on him rather. That's a lovely chest control. It's into the path down the left-hand side of the youngster Cooper. Cooper turns and checks back out. The ball in field gets a deflection on it, and that's good calm play from Matty James, facing his own goal. Not sure he could get a decent clearance away. He cushions the pass to a teammate, and it's up to halfway where Tommy Conway must have been caught offside. Well, hang on. Is that a free kick? If it's offside, you can't have an offside in the half. I genuinely am perplexed by that one. Anyway, free kick has been taken and it's short, and it doesn't really matter exactly the right spot, but it seemed like it was given for an offside. And now Wood, he almost had his pocket picked there by George Tanner. Out to Manning it goes. Manning quite happy to go back to Grimes. Grimes under pressure from Semenyo, gives it back to Bender, who's 5-10 yards outside his box. No pressure on him, so he just stands there with the ball at his feet. Now he thinks about going a little bit longer. He's looking out to that far touchline where Cooper got a good touch, but Viner was there to take it off him. Oh, and then a horrible pass from Atkinson, this is going to be the opening goal. It's a horror show at the back from Bristol City. The ball was played from O'Leary to Rob Atkinson, who had the pass available to Zach Viner. He's massively underhit it, played it straight to a grey shirt, and then very, very unselfishly the ball was squared into the middle. Joel Perreault couldn't possibly miss. Open goal, 15 yards out. And having come close to nicking it at the other end, City show that when you play it poorly out from the back, you land yourself in trouble. They were goal down in this FA Cup third round tie. It's Swansea 1, City 0.
Yeah, you can plan and prepare as much as you want. Unfortunately, you can't do anything about an individual error like that. I mean, it's galling, isn't it? Poor Rob Atkinson, been in the limelight a couple of weeks ago and come back into the team, done really, really well at Millwall and Coventry, and now he's under a little bit of pressure because he's got to dig himself out of a big hole now.
Oh, you just feel for players in those situations, don't you? He actually had a lot more time than he needed. He could have taken another touch there. He didn't need to play the pass quickly. It was on his left foot, so his stronger side. He's just got it horribly wrong. As now Viner looking to try and get City moving once more, fires that pass. It's controlled by Conway. I don't think it was intended for him, and Matty James needs to do well to get that ball away from the goal scorer Perreault. Atkinson this time does ghost past his man. That's a much better pass to Tanner. Tanner down the line looking for the run of Vyman. Haven't been able to get him into the game so far. And finally, a little bit more endeavour from City, a little bit more purpose there, a bit of pace on the ball. And they've got a throw in level with the edge of the Swansea area, far side of the pitch, their right, as they attack towards the Atio stand. Good battling there from Matty James to get there in front of Cooper. And it's back where we started. Throw in to be taken by Tanner. Scott's trying to make an angle for him. Nobody else is really making a lot of movement. Now Vyman is coming to join and help out. To be fair, he hasn't really had a chance yet. Now he's giving it to Conway, and Conway on the half volley can't control it. And well, Swansea just flooded the area with players and made it very difficult for City to escape. Yeah,
and to get the ball in play. I mean, it's good defending, and going back to Vyman, he hasn't been in the game because Swansea defend a little bit deep, and Vyman likes to make them runs in behind. There's nowhere to go.
Good strong tackle there from Atkinson. The ball ricochets to Conway. Conway forward to Semenyo, trying to roll his man. Can he get at the angle for a shot away? He goes down. Referee says no, he's played the ball.
Come on, that's a pen.
427 days and counting. He went to ground. I don't think he did play the ball. Matty James looking at the referee, was in a great position to see it, but didn't give the decision.
I've got to say that is a penalty. I mean, Semenyo's turned him, and yeah, the ball's just come off him a yard, but the defender's gone to ground. He slid in. I don't think he gets anything on the ball at all.
No, I think you're right, but City's penalty drought continues. They're looking at the replay on the bench. It's not going to make a difference, other than maybe pointing out to the fourth official that perhaps it should have been. And it wasn't a stonewall penalty. It wasn't one of those where he's absolutely cleaned him out, but there's enough contact there, I think, to say it's not just him going down in stages.
Yeah, I mean, you can normally tell by the reaction. They're having a look on the monitor, and then they're talking straight away to the fourth official, so they're probably saying, we think that's a penalty, you got that wrong.
Here it's Swansea on the attack. That's good defending from Alex Scott. He didn't actually touch the ball, but he was running alongside Oliver Cooper, who definitely got the wrong side of him for a moment, and just that physical tussle of running next to each other took the legs out of him and gave Max O'Leary a chance to come and claim it. Really
good defending, just got his body on him, as you say, but just finishing that off on the penalty. Curtis Fleming pointing clearly at the video or the iPad in the technical area and say that is a penalty to the fourth official.
And now City get a free kick on the halfway line, but they'd have rather had the previous decision. It's a moot point now. But City showing a few signs of life after the game was meandering a little bit before the goal. It wasn't that City were playing badly, they were just quite content to let Swansea have it. Now they're maybe looking to be a little bit more aggressive as they try and get back on terms.
Yeah, and aggressive indeed, and that was good for Rob Atkinson, because that was a 50-50 tackle and he didn't have any other option and apart from going with that with all his will and all his strength and power, and he won the ball, and that's good for him after the mistake that he made.
Well, mistakes are there as Alex Scott, he's gone straight past his man there, and Fulton's just cleaned him out. Scott too quick for the Swansea man, who's not even getting a talking to there. It wasn't a nasty foul, but it was a blatant free kick. And Andrew Vyman, I think, the City captain, just having a little word with Craig Pawson about maybe the preponderance of fouls recently. As City take the free kick, back it goes to Atkinson, who this time finds a much better pass. Now Naismith back in field to Matty James. James has got Viner in space on the far side. Viner wants somebody to come short to him. He gets it from Conway. Conway, does he beat his man? No, he doesn't. He does get the free kick. He was holding off the man behind him, and then a midfielder, Grimes it was, joined in. Not a massive amount in that either, but there are 3 or 4 occasions now. Viner has had the ball on the right hand side. He's wanted somebody to come short. Conway keeps offering that, but they're doubling up on him, which surely means someone somewhere has got a bit more space. Yeah, I mean, they've got that block on, so the central defenders marking goal side. They're trying to get one of the midfielders in front just to stop that ball going into him. Ball forward is headed back well by Latibeaudiere to his keeper, and then Naismith steps in to win the ball back defensively for City. Took a ricochet which took it away from Semenyo, unfortunately, and then Grimes slides that one forward, looking to play it inside Naismith towards the goal scorer Perrault. Perrault got past Naismith, but then Atkinson came back and made the tackle, and actually Naismith did really well there not to make a challenge, because he was thinking out sticking out a leg and then pulled it away at the last minute. He was easily beaten and he'd gone to ground. He was out the game, and thank goodness Rob Atkinson come across to clear up the danger for him. Long ball forward again, it's just a bit too long for Conway, and Semenyo was sort of sniffing there, but no real chance for him to get on the end of it either. And Swansea looking to pass it out from the back, find Allen down there left hand side. 1-0 Swansea lead. Perrault with the goal. There's now space for Latibeaudiere to play it wide to Fulton. Fulton driving it across to the edge of the area, where a slightly heavy touch, thankfully, from Cooper meant City could get a boot in, but he was in all sorts of space on the edge of the box. Now Perrault opening his body up for something, but just shifts it square. Manning, further wide it goes. Thinking about putting the ball in the box, but again they keep it going once more. Manning just clips it in towards Cooper, who goes down under the challenge. Referee says play on, and Conway having to battle hard to get that ball, but then he's trying to slide it back to Viner, and it's picked off, and City not able to hold on to the ball for long enough at the moment. Perrault looking to slide in the run of Cullen, and thankfully for City, Zach Viner was alive to it and had just enough pace to get there as the tackle comes in from Swansea. The free kick is given, and then it's kicked away by Oliver Cooper, which is probably not the brightest of things, and he is getting a talking to, at least from the referee. Yeah, they're keeping the ball well. Swansea, I have to say, they're probably outplaying City in midfield at the moment. Grimes and Allen, Perrault joining in, and Fulton and Cooper, and then good movement. They're running the back off. City players are getting between the lines, and it's really, really difficult. Well, the physio is going to be called on here. Tommy Conway up front has gone down. He's got Antoine Semenyo there in close attendance. Now the physio will go and take over, and after the initial sort of the set pieces at the edge of the box, which, you know, the first one was a shot miles over, and then there was a decent ball from Naismith, which with a touch might have been a goal, but other than that, Swansea have been not discomforted at all really at the back, have they? No, they haven't. And you know, you look at the players that City are working hard. Look, they've got to work hard against the ball, because Swansea are dictating play, but you look at the players that aren't in the game. You can't get Vyman in the game. We haven't seen anything from the wing backs as of yet getting up into the attacking half, and Semenyo and Conway have spent large parts of the game going and closing down and haven't been seen as an attacking threat. Well, whatever the problem with Conway is, I think it's ended his afternoon, because Nahki Wells is stripping off, ready to come on. So as replacements go, it's a good one to have, but I'm sure that City wouldn't want to make the change 24 minutes in, and just hope that it's nothing too serious for Tommy Conway, as he went down off the ball there. So I don't think it's an impact injury, unless it's something that's sort of got worse as the match has gone on. It's more likely to be, I don't know, a groin or a hamstring or a calf or something like that, isn't it? It was a strange one, because he was protecting the ball, he was shielding the ball, but he's running back towards his own goal, and whether the Swansea player just got something on him, and he's not moving too well. And I mean, one player who won't mind, of course, is Nahki Wells, because he'll want to be on the pitch and play, no doubt about it. Yeah, he'd be desperate to get involved, and he's been playing well in recent matches without maybe getting the goals that he would like. So Tommy Conway City's top scorer, has to make way, but Nahki Wells, who is just a goal behind him in the goal scoring stakes, will come on. And just looking at the conversation there, Conway seem to be gesticulating to as a thigh or maybe a groin area, so just hope it's a minor niggle rather than anything more serious. So play will restart with Wells on the pitch and City with the free kick, launched long by O'Leary, headed away by Wood. It's going to fall to Joe Allen, who prods that forward to Perot, the goal scorer. He lays it wide to Manning on the left hand side. Manning with time to take a couple of touches and back it goes. Centre backs have it. Wood back to his goalkeeper, and Bender playing it out once more, asking a bit of Allen. Allen's poor touch there has allowed Vyman to nip in and win it back off him. Vyman cuts it back to the edge of the area, but there were three in the box. Nobody had broken to the edge of the area, and he's just looked up and taken the wrong option there, I'm afraid.
That's the wrong option. I mean, he's inside the 18-yard box, 12 yards from goal, and he cuts it back outside the 18-yard box into the D, past all the Russian City players and straight to a Swansea player. They
do take chances there, trying to play out from the back. They've exited well enough in the end of Swansea, but Semenyo got a touch on that one, and it wasn't all that far away from taking it to Nahki Wells, and having given Swansea a gift at the wrong end of the pitch, they'll be looking to get one back at the other end as that ball fired forward towards Semenyo. Actually does really well to get there in front of his man. Cabango is going to slide across and put it out of touch, but that was a horrible ball for Semenyo to try and control. He got it past one centre-back, but the covering man puts it out for a throw-in, which will be taken on the far side, level with the edge of the area. Tanner has got Scott making moves, but he is literally the only one. Matty James pointing out that he needs a bit more help over there. Tanner into Semenyo inside the box. Semenyo looking to lay it back, just too many bodies there. He didn't get the clean touch he wanted. Now a chance maybe to break out here from Cooper. Cooper closed down by Matty James. He does well to buy his midfield time to get back, as that ball over the top, they're looking for Perot. It's always just a little bit away from him, and in the end Max O'Leary, went into the box and then went out of the box, and rather than sort of dive on it and take a chance, he's just cleared it out for a throw into Swansea.
He's done the right thing, but good vision from Allen. Big diagonal ball, almost catching Naismith out, and it did flash across the 18-yard box, and Max O'Leary covering well there.
Ball down the channel here, looking for the run of Cullen, who's offside. He's won the ball back as Zach Viner, but it doesn't matter. I think Zach Viner thinks he's given away a free kick, and he's going to look over here hopefully in a minute and realise it's the flag up. So he won the ball cleanly, but he didn't have to worry about it. 1-0 it remains to Swansea in a game of not a great deal of goal-mouth action, isn't it? And that's been part of the problem for City. They've done well defensively the last couple of games, but they certainly haven't taken enough of their chances.
No, and same for Swansea. You can't say that Max O'Leary's really had a save to make, has he? And it was a mistake that led to the goal, obviously, but Bender in the Swansea goal, he's had a quiet afternoon as well so far.
That's certainly true, as City win the ball back in the Swansea half. It comes to Scott. He's looked for the right pass, but he's hit it straight at the chest of Joel Perot, and then Scott does well to get a little touch on it, and this time City do win the ball back. They're going the wrong way, but now maybe they can go the right way. Chance down the left-hand side for Pring. Pring looking up, trying to curl it into a good area. That's a good ball, that's a really good ball, but you have to say defending from Wood, he just got in between Semenyo and the ball and made it a fairly easy clearance for Swansea. Put back into the Swansea half. Latibodiere under a bit of pressure here from Cam Pring, and the referee says too much pressure, and the free kick goes Swansea's way.
Good from Cam Pring though.
Yeah.
You want to see more of that?
Yeah.
Getting into that advanced area. He didn't even think about it. He took one look up and he delivered the ball into the Swansea penalty box. Yeah,
and Semenyo, in the aerial side of his game, he's quite good at, he's certainly worked on the flick-ons and doing that side of it, but you just get the feeling he could have, with a little bit more purpose there, he might just have been able to get his head on that one. As it was, Wood defended it relatively easily, as Swansea playing nice neat football, get it out of their left back position, and now they've got a chance to attack down the right wing. It's Perot wanting it on that left boot all the time, just lays it wide to Latibodiere. His cross into the danger zone, controlled on the chest by Fulton, being forced away from goal, tries to lay it out wide. That's good play from Cam Pring, just gets there in front of Joel Perot. He goes down very easily but gets the free kick, but even just getting there in front of the Swansea man showed good quick thinking from the left wing back.
And good determination, but once again Swansea very fluent through midfield. They play them 1-2s, just play around the City midfield. It's very difficult for the players in there, Alex Scott and Matty James at the moment.
And it is only really that the penalty shout with Semenyo being brought down in the box. It was Cabango put the tackle on him, no penalty kick. Other than that, you'd say they haven't really threatened to score.
No, not at all. Weimann, probably 5 minutes ago, got into a good position, didn't he, wide on the right hand side, but couldn't produce that quality ball.
Oh, referee, that's a poor decision. That's good tackle from George Tanner. He knew that Allen was trying to spin him, so he sort of put his boot where Allen was going to go. Allen ran into him, fell over. That's not a free kick. He doesn't have to get out of the way, but free kick is given and taken quickly. But again, Allen has his pocket picked by Alex Scott, who was really lively to that one. Wells makes the run out wide to the far side. It's helped on to Semenyo, edge of the area. He's got Scott in support. That's where it goes. Scott looking for support himself. There was nothing he could do forward, so back it goes to Viner. Now he gets the ball wide to Tanner. Scott under pressure then in midfield from Cullen, who dropped back, and over the sideline it goes. That was good endeavour from Scott, but actually Wells probably made the wrong run. If he just stood still, received the ball, and Scott runs round him, then the defender gets pinned and he's in trouble. But he's just safe from up here.
Yeah, done well. Alex Scott was switched on. Quick free kick by Swansea, intercepted, but once again Swansea go and hunt the ball down when they lose it and turn the ball over back in their favour.
And they've got it now with their right back Latibaudiere. Gives it to Cabango under a bit of pressure from Wells. Latibaudiere then plays it into an area for Fulton, who does well facing his own goal, but a series of 1-2s later, and he's got a little bit of space in the left back position, then looks for the long diagonal. He's slightly under hit that one. Naismith gets there in front of anybody else. The header is picked up by a grey shirt though. That's a poor touch from Fulton. A good strong tackle from Matty James, who appeals for the throw in, and I think is probably on the strength of the appeal as much as anything else he gets it, because I'm not sure that it did come off the Swansea player last.
No, well, a Swansea player kicked it directly at Matty James and the ball went in the opposite direction, so you think Matty James has probably had the last touch, but I think he stared the linesman out on that occasion.
So 1-0 Swansea lead just past the half-hour mark here at Ashton Gate, as the sun breaks through the clouds and a few of the fans in the Dolman stand just to shield their eyes. Naismith into the thigh there of Alex Scott, who had to work really hard with two players on him just to not give that away. It's cleared by Atkinson, but only as far as a grey shirt. And now Fulton finds Allen. You don't want to see him in space at the edge of the area. Plays it down the channel to Cullen, forced him too wide for a shot. Chance for him to cross it into the area though. Cross comes in from Manning, well defended by City. Matty James it was, getting his boot to the ball. Then Tanner goes down under the challenge of Cullen. Not a great deal in that one either, but City at least respond to the danger. They are getting pulled out of shape a little bit here, and Swansea finding a bit too much time and space in areas where you wouldn't want them to, albeit they haven't taken any chances.
Yeah, they are. You're quite right. And even when Bristol City won the ball back there, I looked down and City had 10 players behind the ball and only Antoine Semenyo as a target up the pitch, and he was marked by two Swansea defenders.
As the ball forward from Atkinson doesn't quite have the legs on it, but it's tied up by City's midfield. And Atkinson gets the ball back at his feet now. Finds O'Leary, gets it back. Alex Scott is offering, but he's done well there, Atkinson. Just took the time that he had on the ball and picked the right pass, which was Naismith. And Naismith has got out to Viner, and Viner has now got a chance to get it going forward with Tanner. Tanner still driving down that far touchline. Can he get a cross in? He's heading towards the dead ball line. Then he turns and checks straight into a challenge from Allen, who goes past the lunging tackle of Zach Viner, and then there's another challenge there from Matty James, and the third one does bring it down. And that was a good example of I chatted with George Tanner this week, and you can tell he's a defender being asked to go forward than the other way around. Yeah, which isn't a bad thing as long as he's solid, but I think in the modern game, if you play in that position, you have got to bring something to the party, haven't you? You have got to make the numbers up in attack. You have got to be able to deliver balls from wide areas. And he was trying there. It's one of those, as soon as he checks back into maybe not realising the defender was behind, Joe Allen was behind him, then you land yourself in trouble. I think the referee's been quite lenient this afternoon. Probably 2 or 3 challenges that definitely would have got a yellow card in a league game. Yeah, by some, as Cooper falls over with Atkinson right there with him, but referee says it was a slip rather than anything else. And City have it. Back it goes to Viner. Viner thinks about the long diagonal crossfield, but goes out to that far side once more. And then Semenyo wants the throw in. Oh, the assistant took a long time to decide on that one. I couldn't tell you whether that was his last touch or not, but it doesn't matter because it's given Swansea's way. Grimes, and it's worked back to Wood. Finding Cabango, 1-0, Swansea lead. The early goal from Joel Perreault after a bad pass from Rob Atkins. Back he goes to the keeper. I don't think he was expecting that. That wasn't far away from Naki Wells taking it off him, but he just gets a boot to it when he needed to, and the ball over the top has got Perreault interested, but Viner's there to deal with it. And then Max O'Leary calmly finds Cam Pring, and Pring looking forward was trying to find Wells. Wells, I think, just again like the Swansea man a minute ago, just slipped there as he tried to change direction. There was a bit of a challenge on him from Latibaudiere, but I wouldn't say enough for a free kick, and the referee agrees.
You always think, looking at the way Swansea play, they could be their own worst enemies. I mean, they're in control of the game because they've got that goal, obviously, and they are controlling possession, but it just looks like there's always a mistake about to happen when they're passing the ball round at the back.
Yeah, all it takes is that one moment, isn't it? As Joe Allen slides that ball into Cooper. Cooper then just lays it off. Lots of time on the ball here. Grimes looking for it over the top. Nice idea, but Cooper, well, stretched though he might, was never going to get on the end of that one. And through to Max O'Leary it goes, who bowls it out underarm to Viner. Viner back to his goalkeeper. And you don't want City getting into the same game as Swansea, because if you play that way, they're better at it than City are, frankly. As the header forward there from Pring, didn't have many other options to do anything else, but it's tidied up by Swansea. Back to the keeper again, just gets that one away before Wells challenges him. Atkinson first to the loose ball in the middle of the pitch. Tanner trying to keep it in play, but to nobody in particular, and now Joe Allen looking to switch play, and there's a man going through the middle here. It's a nice header from Perreault to find Fulton. Back to the goal scorer Perreault. Plenty of red shirts back now as the ball's played to the edge of the area. Vyman does well to get there at the same time as the Swansea player. Grimes tidies up though, gives it wide to Allen. Allen further wide. Chance for Cooper to try and cut it into the box. He's jinking this way and that, but gives it to Manning eventually. And then Allen, walking pace into Cooper. Cooper goes for the cross-come shot, but it's blocked by Viner. Ricochets up to Grimes though, and now Cooper gets it back at his feet. Swansea looking calm in possession at the moment. Allen, always calm in possession, clips it out to Latibaudiere on the halfway line. Again, looks to go forward, and as soon as the pressure's there, he just cuts it back infield to another teammate. And it's worked across to Joe Allen, who's in the left back position for the moment. Under pressure, he should have got his pocket pick there. Two City players almost won it, but he got a little bit of fortune and then took advantage of that by making the pass. Latibaudiere exchanging 1-2s with Fulton. Fulton being forced towards his own goal. Back to Latibaudiere. Somebody always available to get the ball, and that's a late challenge from Naismith. And Naismith goes to apologise. He's going to be the first man to get a yellow card, and it was late, and he took his man. He's trying to apologise to the Swansea player, but he knows he was late to that one.
It was late, and it's frustration because, you know, they're just chasing shadows there a little bit, aren't they? Swansea zipping the ball around in midfield, quick one-touch play, overloading areas. Talking about Joe Allen dropping into that false full-back position. He draws midfielders out. They don't know whether to go out and mark him or stay in the position, and you know, just creating space all over the pitch.
Well, the injury is obviously bad enough to get the Swansea physios on. They weren't showing any interest in it, but Latibaudiere has sort of banged his arm against the turf a few times, so hopefully it's nothing too serious for the young man. Naismith going across again to offer his apologies and go and have a little chat with the referee, and he's pointing down the pitch for the penalty possibly, as both teams take this as a chance to come across and get a few tactical instructions and a little bit of refreshment ahead of half time, which is only 5.5 minutes away. But City it's just whatever the game plan is in this first half, it hasn't quite worked. They haven't put enough pressure on the Swansea back line often enough.
No, I mean, the only thing you could say is that it's containment, isn't it? They're working hard to contain Swansea, to stay in the game, but they haven't really taken the game to Swansea City yet.
No, and I guess it's a risk-reward thing, isn't it? If you go and really vigorously press the ball, every chance you might win the ball back and create good opportunities, but there's equally every chance they'll pass through you and you're in a whole world of trouble defensively.
No doubt about it, they will pick you off, and we've seen them pick City off on a couple of occasions now, and even that big diagonal now that they're trying to find Perrault, that left to right, they're almost got him in a couple of times.
Well, we're about to restart. Latibeaudiere is okay to continue. He's not moving freely, the right back, but he's on the pitch. Antoine Semenyo now having a chat with the referee. I can only imagine it's all pertaining to the penalty kick that wasn't, as he was challenged. And what's the referee doing here? Is it going to be a drop ball? No, it's a free kick. Oh,
of course, he's got to move it a yard. Or was it 2 yards?
Yeah, no, to be fair, that's Semenyo trying to say, look, the foul happened over there. So, anyway, we'll get restarted in a moment. Grimes thinking out, he wants to play it short, but Semenyo's cutting off the option back. Grimes still waiting. Eventually does give it back to Cabango. And they are comfortable on the ball, as you would imagine you'd need to be to play this kind of football. Manning, the left back, plays it into Cabango. Now Latibeaudiere, heavy touch from him, but he powers through the challenge of Weimann, and that's a nice pass from Manning to find Joe Allen. Into the centre of the pitch it goes. Grimes finding Allen once more. The pass not quite where he wanted it there, but it's still with the Welsh team. And if they get themselves in a little bit of a muddle, they're more than happy to go backwards. There's Cabango finding Allen. Now Latibeaudiere firing the pass at Allen, but nice touch from him. Almost a slip from Cooper, but he gets away with it because Pring wasn't close enough to take advantage. And it's possession drill stuff at the moment, isn't it? Yeah,
but it's a movement. If you look in the middle of the pitch, that's Manning, who's a left wing back, so he's playing in midfield now. He's not out there where you'd expect him to be. Rotation of positions with Joe Allen. It's really, really hard to work out for City.
Yeah, and they're doing it well at the moment, Swansea. This is a Swansea team that have only won 1 in 10, like City have won 1 in 11, so neither of these two teams massively high in confidence, you would suspect, but not being evidenced at the moment from Swansea, who've been given a gift and they've taken it, and that's why the score is 1-0. Otherwise, you would think there's precious little in the game. There's certainly not been many chances created from open play. Swansea get themselves out of a tight spot at the back, but they don't really get too far forwards. You're right, though, from what you said earlier, Gary. City are working hard to try and contain them, and you wonder how much that's taken out of the legs. Yeah. Now Atkinson has won the ball back and looking to drive forward. He slips the pass wide to Weimann, and he's going to get himself in the box. That's a poor pass from Weimann. It doesn't give Pring much hope, but Pring does really well to ride the challenge. Gets it infield. That seems like a handball. Ball comes to Pring. He lays it back to the edge of the area. Pass infield, and then Atkinson goes down.
Come on!
He had his standing leg taken there. Atkinson slow in getting up. Well, there is no VAR. There's no point in moaning about it, but the previous one we thought was that one looked all ends up. He's just had a swing, taken his standing leg, not got the ball, and the referee's not interested.
Well, I think it's handball first of all, and then if that's not, they just give up. We're just not going to get a penalty. That's got to be a penalty, surely.
Well, coulda, woulda, shoulda, and it wasn't. But nice to see Atkinson having made the defensive mistake, looking to try and rectify it at the right end of the pitch. So he has to show a good turn of pace there, as Naismith had ducked under the ball. Perrault was going to get on it, but Atkinson slid in and put it wide. Well, we were joking about it pre-match. If the game does go to a replay and then extra time and it's still all level, I'm starting to begin to believe that City will lose it because they're not allowed a penalty.
5-0, City won't get a penalty, will they? Just let Swansea take them.
1-0, Swansea lead. Yeah, it is. As Latibeaudiere, to be fair, I think he was caught in two minds a little bit. And it's not often you see foul throws actually given, is it? But that one obviously was.
It's the most common thing that officials miss, I can tell you. I see one every week, and actually the linesman missed that, the referee give it.
So Naismith going to work the touchline as it's flicked on though by Swansea. Zach Viner doing a good job defensively to hook it clear, but it's tied up in midfield by Swansea. Grimes looking to get started again. 4 minutes of added time, which we've just started here. And the ball back in the Swansea half, but again, series of one-touch passes, they get it forward. City do win it back in midfield, and it's flicked forward towards Wells, who does really well there under pressure to ride the initial challenge, but can't quite find the red and white shirt. And now Swansea have it once more with Fulton, centre of the pitch. Helps it into Joe Allen. Allen wanted to slide that outside, but Semenyo was doing a good job of blocking it off. It does eventually reach Latibeaudiere, but not before City have got bodies back in defensive positions. Ball played out to Perrault. Perrault down the channel again. Atkinson's going to get there in front of Fulton, and he puts it out for a throw-in. And I think he's actually, his mistake has cost the only goal of the game, but I think he's responded pretty well to that, to be fair, as Rob Atkinson. I
think he has. I mean, he's aggressive in a tackle he had to win, and he did receive a ball from Max O'Leary, and I think he's got no one to pass to. He stayed calm and he stayed composed, and he found the right pass. So yeah, he has recovered quite well.
So we've played a minute of the added 4. A bit too much time and space here for Cooper. Cooper trying to stab it through to Cullen. He's forced him wide to the dead ball line, trying to stand it up to the far post. It's going out, is it? No, it's just stayed in, but Perrault gets muscled off the ball by Naismith, and then down the channel it goes, and Wells has used his body really well there, and he's managed to hook it on towards Semenyo. Can Semenyo show a clean pair of heels to the defence here? He's wide on the left hand side. Grimes it was who got across to him. Semenyo looking to put it into the box, but there's no one there to deal with it. The defender didn't leave it to the keeper, even though there was no one there. And eventually Swansea, unsurprisingly, fire a 1-2, get themselves half a yard of space and should be able to clear this. But it was noticeable there that, having received the ball from Wells, Semenyo, you're kind of thinking, well, who else is going to be in advance of them? But he just needed to hold on to that a little bit longer and give his midfield a chance to join him.
Yeah, it's probably the first time that the game's been stretched. City catching Swansea in possession, counter-attack, but just short of numbers.
Grimes has it in the centre circle. 2 of the added 4 minutes have been played. 1-0 Swansea lead here on Sunday Sport in this third round FA Cup encounter at Ashton Gate, and Swansea will be content, you feel, to pass the ball around for the next 2 minutes and go in at one goal up. As Manning, he's played it back in field towards Cabango, but Cabango slipped, and there have been a few that have done that. There has been a lot of rain, as we know, here in the west the last week or so, and it's poor pass out of defence, and then it should be a yellow card. That one, it's yellow card all over, as Scott got in front of Joe Allen, who's just dragged him back, and he is reaching for his pocket and gives the yellow card.
Yeah,
I think he's been a little bit lenient to both sides. I don't think he's been unfair with that one, but if that hadn't have been a yellow, I would have been unhappy.
I don't think he wanted to give it. He sort of painfully give it in the end, but I'm sure he'll get a warm reception from the City fans and from the City coaching staff when he walks in for his half-time cup of tea, the ref.
Well, 2 penalty shouts, neither given.
3.
Well, yeah, I suppose 2.
Yeah,
2 in the same move, wasn't it? So, free kick is City's. It's about 20 yards inside the Swansea half. Naismith clips it forward, but he doesn't quite get the contact he was looking for there. It's an easy clearance. 3.5 the added 4 minutes played. Alex Scott has it on the halfway line. Gives it to Viner. Viner looking for that ball down the channel. He's hit it a bit straight, but almost ended up as a good one. And it's actually going to end at the feet of Wells, who turned it to where he thought Tanner was, but it was actually behind the young City defender. And a poor pass there from Viner, which is not often what you'd expect, but it's given Swansea a chance to break here. But lovely little play there from Alex Scott, and Scott maybe now with the last chance of the half to try and drive City forward. Gives it wide to Pring. There are bodies in the box if you can get a good cross in, but it gets it. Block off the defender. Out it goes for a throw-in. We are going to get the throw-in, or are we? Referee not reaching for his whistle yet. Just needed to get more height on that one. As Pring takes that one short to Semenyo. Semenyo running away from goal, maintaining possession, and there is the half-time whistle, and there are boos around the home end. The away fans are satisfied, and do you know what, if that mistake isn't happened and it's 0-0, I still think there'd be frustration around, but City now they've got 45 minutes to really show a bit of of forward momentum, haven't they?
I think the booing, if I was a fan, there's no way I'd want to turn up and watch City play at home and watch the opposition pass the ball around like they just have for 45 minutes. You've got to do something about that. You've got to come up with something to take the game to Swansea City. We heard Nigel Pearson at the start talking about being on the front foot, but they haven't been, have they? Because Swansea, they haven't sort of, you know, they've scored the goal from a mistake. Other than that, I don't think Max O'Leary's made a mistake, but they have dominated the ball.
Yeah, they have, and very noticeable there that Jason Ewell and Curtis Fleming, the two coaches for City, both going to the referee, and Jason Ewell had the two fingers up, indicating twice they appealed for penalties. Twice they feel they should have been given a penalty. On neither occasion was it given, which means the mistake from Rob Atkinson, his poor pass in defence, passed straight to a Swansea player in the City box, was squared, and Joel Perreault couldn't possibly miss on the quarter-hour mark, which means City are going to need at least one goal in the second half if they're going to make it through to the fourth round draw of the FA Cup, because here in the third round it's Bristol City 0, Swansea City 1.
BBC Radio Bristol and BBC Radio Somerset.
John Marquis will get his first Bristol Rovers goal.
Great team goal from Yeovil Town.
Absolute jubilation.
And Vyman makes it 4 goals in 4 games.
Going to be a try in the corner for Bristol.
That's a try for Piers Francis.
Follow your team in 2023.
What a brilliant goal. Ryan Loft tucks it away neatly.
And Yeovil have the lead.
Good play from Bristol. They're up to the line again. And it's Max Leahy.
Now they're getting to that try line and they've scored. Bath get the try. Punches the air in front of the Bristol City fans.
With BBC Radio Bristol and BBC Radio Somerset. Sunday Sport.
BBC Radio Bristol and BBC Radio Somerset.
So, half-time at Ashton Gate, City 0, Swansea 1. It's been a frustrating listen, Gary, ignoring the fact that City maybe should have had 2 penalties, ignoring the fact it was a calamitous goal to concede. It's just City haven't been the attacking threat we know they can be in this first half.
No, they've done very little in the way of attacking. Actually, I can't think of too many situations other than the moments where they maybe could have got those penalties, and Andres Vyman broke into the box on one occasion over there on the right-hand side, but it was a poor ball in all honesty, and they've got a lot to do. I mean, they've got to come up with a shape, they've got to get better organised, and they've got to go and pinch the ball off Swansea. They've got to go and be more aggressive with the defending, and we know how good Swansea are with the ball because we've just watched that, but we don't know how good they are under pressure because City haven't managed to put them under any pressure yet.
Are you expecting better in the second half? I mean, they've already had to bring on Nahki Wells for Tommy Conway, which is another blow.
Yeah, well, it's an injury, it's an enforced change. I think the fans in Ashton Gate expect better. I certainly do. You know, you want to see goal-mouth action. Again, picking up on what Nigel said at the start of the game, deliver the box as many times as possible, but only Cam Pring, in fairness, has looked like he's been able to do that. George Tanner's been restricted and restrained on the right hand side. Andres Vyman can't get into the game because City can't get the ball, and it is really frustrating stuff. Yeah, Rich.
Second half to come with Ed and Gary. Bristol City trailing at the break by a 1-0. In the other 12:30 kickoff, it is Derby 1, Barnsley 0. A penalty just before half-time from James Collins separating the two sides. So Derby 1, Barnsley 0 is a half-time score. 4 games kick off at 2 o'clock. Stockport against Walsall, Norwich against Blackburn, Hartlepool against Stoke, and an attractive game at Cardiff. Cardiff against Leeds. Team news with Ali Bruceball.
21 years on it is from the infamous /famous third round tie between these two clubs at Ninian Park. I know we're about to get into all of that on the show, so let's talk about today's teams for you. Actually, lots of changes for both Cardiff and Leeds. I'm going to start with Premier League Leeds. 7 changes for them from the midweek draw against West Ham. FA Cup winner with Wigan, Joel Robles, is in goal. 3 changes in Jesse Marsh's back 4. Pascal Strauch is the only one who keeps his place from midweek. 18-year-old Darko JB makes only a second start for the club in midfield. He was signed from Manchester City in the summer. Brendan Aronson, Wilfred Gnonto, Crescencio Somerville all start as they did against West Ham, but it is Joe Gelhardt up front in place of Rodrigo. The new signing, Max Verber, the Austrian, is on the bench. So 7 changes Leeds, 8 changes for Cardiff. Danny Gabidon John, sitting alongside me, has told me there's been a little bit of a bug in the camp, so that might have accounted for a few. Only Tom Sang, Jack Simpson in the back four, and Mark Harris, the striker, remain from the 1-0 defeat of Blackburn on New Year's Day. Neither club in particularly good form. Cardiff sitting 20th in the Championship, no wins in 7 under Mark Hudson, and Leeds haven't won in the Premier League since the World Cup break, 2 points above the bottom 3, and have gone out in the third round for the last 5 seasons in a row. So just a little bit more pressure, I think, on Leeds away from home. The Premier League team could do with a win.
At 3 o'clock this afternoon, we've got live Premiership Rugby on BBC Radio Bristol. London Irish against Bristol Bears. Mark Hoskins and Dan Albert, your commentary team, and Dan's already in position. Good afternoon, Dan.
Good afternoon, Richard. Happy New Year.
And to you as well. We're still saying that on the 8th of January. I pointed that out to Ed and Gary out early.
Isn't it? Where do you stop?
It is Bristol's first game of the new year, though, and they'll be looking to build on that very encouraging win against Harlequins. Just put today's game into perspective. It's bottom against second from bottom.
Yeah, so it doesn't come much bigger in that sense, does it? When you're playing with the incentive to get off the bottom of the table, always there for both teams in that sense to move away from Irish's point of view. So a game that neither team will want to lose this afternoon. From Bristol's point of view, it's been a long wait for games, and you kind of worry, don't you, about the momentum, because they would have had high momentum, wanting to get the next game after that Harlequins game. Of course, they want to play that the next game as soon as possible, but they've had to be patient. They've waited, and they've seen other results go against them and drop to the bottom in the process as well, back to the bottom of the table. So they'll be keen to get back out there today, and as you say, the incentive to get off the bottom, you don't need much more of a bigger incentive than that.
And the team news, Pat Lam welcomes some of his big players back to the side today.
Yeah, Ellis Genge and Carl Sinclair return in the front row. Toby Fricker is back from injury as well. He starts on the wing. Jan Thomas will make his 100th appearance if and when he comes off of the bench. Bristol's team in full. Noah Heward is at full-back. Toby Fricker and Gabriel Ibitoye are the wings. Semi Radradra and Johan Lloyd pair up at centre. AJ McGinty, fly half. Andy Oren is the scrum half. The front row is Ellis Genge, Harry Thacker and Carl Sinclair. Joe Batley and Chris Vui are the locks. The back row made up of captain Stephen Luatua, Jake Keenan and number 8 Magnus Bradbury. The bench for Bristol: Jake Kerr, Jan Thomas and Max Heath cover the front row. Joe Joyce and Dan Thomas provide depth for the other forward positions. Scrum half Tom Whiteley, fly half Callum Sheedy and Jack Bates cover the backs.
Thank you, Dan. Dan and Mark Hoskins with you at 3 o'clock on BBC Radio Bristol for London Irish against Bristol Bears. Bristol Bears are currently bottom of the Premiership, but after winning at Harlequins over Christmas, Pat Lam looking at 2023 in a positive manner.
Just slowly getting better in areas that we weren't so good at, and you know, it was a massive one for us in that sense. For the confidence of the guys, I was really pleased for the team, because we know we got ability. And but really, application and attitude is the big one we've been working on, and the boys have put a lot of work in. So I was pleased they got the reward for it. But so we start this year. We had the bye last week, so everyone got a break. I'm a little bit darker now, which is good. But we're all, I can see there's a spring in the step as we start this new year, and as I said after that game, a fantastic competition where everyone on that team, everyone on the table has a chance to make their top 4. So it's class.
To Bedlow, to McGinty, the space out on the left. Morahan, they pass it out to Ibitoye. Ibitoye coming back in field. Is it a try? Yes, it is. Fantastic work from Gabriel Ibitoye. Step back inside, off his wing. We thought he might go for the corner, but the space opened up, and against his former club, he had Bristol's second try. And
with the bye week, you move back to the bottom of the table, but I've got a very strong feeling you're looking up rather than focusing on the fact you're bottom at the moment. Well,
yeah, without a doubt, it's like I think as we start these 10 rounds, we have 10, I think everyone else has 9 games to go. We look at it as every performance. We look at 10 performances. That whatever we do here, what really matters is rocking up and getting the job done. So going to London Irish has always been a entertaining game and a challenging game. So we sort of see it's ironic, our next Premiership games when we looked at before we went to Harlequins, we said we've got 3 games in London. So we've done one down, we've got 2 to go, and this is the second test, if you like.
So I think it was Gary Gould who said AJ McGinty was world class at Harlequins. So he's starting. Obviously, we know why you brought him to the club, but is he showing his best form now for Bristol?
I said at the time that AJ will take a while at the beginning, because it was the same when he arrived at Connacht after playing for America. AJ is very astute and he's a talented rugby player and a very good leader, but the first thing that he's always needs time is to understand the bigger picture and build his relationships with players, but also really understanding the game that we're trying to play. And he started off slowly in Connacht as well, and then he came great as we went on to win the Pro 12. And then when he came here, remembering that he was tied up with America, so he missed the pre-season, came in late, and again just fully immersed himself into the team, trying to understand exactly what we're doing, the calls, because it's a big responsibility, the 10 role, as everyone knows. But now, this period of time, he's right across it now, leading well, presenting well to the group, and which means that now he can finally show and lead the way that he can.
BBC Radio Bristol from 3 o'clock. It's London Irish against Bristol Bears. Half time, Bristol City 0, Swansea City 1 in the third round of the FA Cup. Second half commentary coming up very shortly. Over Christmas, we brought you our sports review of the year, looking back at 2022. It was quite a year for Andy Vyman. He's looking back and looking forward to what he hopes will be a very happy new year at Ashton Gate.
I think last year probably, I think we probably ended up where we probably should have. This season, I think it's a tough one. I think we've played pretty well in most of the games. We might have not always got the results I think we deserved. And if you look at the games, like it was at Blackpool where we conceded in the last minute, Sheffield United where we could have easily won the game. If you get even those 4 points, you're 6th or 7th in the league. That's how tight it is. So I think at the minute, we are 16th, but I think we need to start looking up rather than behind us. And if we can get a couple of wins on the spin, then like I said, we'll be straight up there, and that's how tight the league is this year. I don't think it's been that tight in the last few years. I think it's literally from the bottom 3 to playoffs is 6 or 7 points, so it's crazy how tight it is. So we just want to win as many games and see where we can end up.
Because you have a manager who wants to get into the Premier League. Is that an ambition you share, and what's needed for City to take that next step up and bring us Premier League football?
Yeah, of course. All of us want to play in the Premier League. Obviously, this football club has never been in the Premier League, so it would be amazing for us, for the players, for the club, for the city, for everyone to make it to the Premier League. What do we need? I think, obviously, win more games than we have lately. But no, I think it's, as I mentioned, it's so tight, and if we can go on a run, you see it so many times in the Championship, if a team goes on a run, you never know where you can end up, and I think that's what we need to try and do, that if we win one game, not go again next week and then have a bad game and lose it. We need to go on that consistent run, get some results together, and hopefully we can, like I said, push as high as we possibly can this season. And I'm sure the club will be in the Premier League at some point. Of course, I want to be here when the club is.
What's your long-term future? Do you think about when I stop playing, are you going to coach one day, be a manager, or stay in football? Now that I get a bit older, I get asked this question a lot. I don't really know, is the honest answer. I think it'll probably be something to do with football. I don't think I see myself as a coach at this moment in time. But I've tried obviously do stuff outside of football as well, so kind of you can't just sit down when you, 35, 36 and not do anything for the rest of your life. So I'll definitely do something at this moment in time. I'm not 100% sure what that is, but I'm sure I'll get to that. And will you go back to Austria eventually, or do you consider England your home now?
I think England, to be honest, is my home. I think I've been here longer than I've lived in Austria now. I think it's 16 years, and obviously I came here when I was 15, so a bit longer than I lived in Austria. And obviously I've got my wife who's from England, and my 3 children 2 of them go to school in England now, so it's home, I think.
And if you missed our sports review of the year, you can listen back on BBC Sounds. It was broadcast on Thursday, December the 29th. Well, Bristol City are looking to salvage their FA Cup campaign before it's even started. They trailed Swansea by 1-0. Let's bring you the second half on BBC Radio Bristol and BBC Radio Somerset in the company of Gary Hours and Ed Hadwin.
Look at that, perfect timing. The whistle goes to restart the game. And it's Swansea in the grey shirts, black shorts and black socks who get us underway. They launch it forward. Campring's going to have to stop that going for a corner and does so. So it's out for a throw on the far side. One change at the break. It's from the visitors. Ben Cabango has gone off for them. Harry Darling comes on. So one centre-back off for another one. He did pick up a knock towards the end of the first half. Of course, we've already had one change for City. Tommy Conway, who started the match, didn't last more than just over 20 minutes, and he's been replaced by Naki Wells. Otherwise, it's the same team. So here's Swansea on the attack, driven across the face of goal. It's parried partially away by Max O'Leary, and then not the greatest of touches for Antoine Semenyo. Behind it goes for the first corner kick of the game in the opening seconds of the second half.
Yeah, it's another bright start from Swansea. A little bit less conviction there from Max O'Leary, but he done the job. He diverted away from the goal into the path of Semenyo, who could only kick it out for a corner to Swansea.
So Manning to deliver it, clipped toward under the bar actually. It's an awkward one for O'Leary to deal with, and then under pressure from one of the other Swansea players, he decides to punch it over his own bar, which I'm not sure was the wrong thing to do. Perot was the player making life difficult for him, the goal scorer. And Manning will do the same thing again. Pat Mountain's moaning to the fourth official on the sideline in the meantime. And Manning looking to drift another one in, a bit deeper this time, towards the far post. It's headed into the danger zone, but no one was there to do anything with it. And Max O'Leary now looking to get City moving quickly as a long throw. It gets a glancing touch from Joe Allen, and then Semenyo asking O'Leary to put it a bit further, but to be fair to him, I think if he tries to kick that, there are bodies in his way, so he's probably done the right thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of them we see Max do it quite often, and he's trying to get City up and running, isn't he, with a quick counter-attack, and almost got Semenyo in, but every now and again I think he's just got to keep hold of it as well and let City take up better positions.
City in possession on the far side, Pring forward to Wells, turns that one nicely in field to Naismith, who goes down. Maybe caught a stray boot there because he's holding his head. Seems to be in a very advanced position there. He's obviously not scared of going forward. Very good on the ball. And he gets the free kick, which is taken quickly. City looking to stretch Swansea out to this near side. It's Semenyo's on the ball, but there's three around him, so he has to click that one back to Tanner. And Tanner finds Viner. Now Semenyo once more. Would like to see him in those situations, maybe just have a go a little bit more one-on-one, as that ball forward is asking Wells to do a lot of running. He rather shoves Darling down, then lands on him. It was a good effort to try and get there, but you saw it was Joe Allen who was coming out to him. Just draw him in and try and slip it past him, because he's certainly got the legs of him.
Yeah, he's got to be positive initially, like you say. Tanner's got to be positive, and then Naki Wells just chasing a lost cause, isn't he? It's a long forward straight ball. He hasn't really got much chance of picking up possession.
Swansea again taking chances along the edge of their own area, but they get out, and they've now got loads of space for Joe Allen. He's going across the halfway line, driving forward. I think Naismith's moved into midfield, you know. I think they've changed the system as the ball's wasted by Swansea, playing it to no one in particular. Naismith seems a lot higher up the pitch than normally. I think they've gone forward at the back and pushed him into midfield.
Yeah, just see how it pans out. Good spot. I mean, we did talk about it. He had to do something, Nigel Pearson. Can't just sit there and watch Swansea dictate play.
So the throw on the far side to City is taken. Scott just loops it back to Atkinson, who gives it to O'Leary. Has to clear that one first time. Wells does well to make a nuisance of himself, but nobody makes contact on it, and there's too many grey shirts there to deal with. I haven't had a chance to give you the teams. I will do that again when we get a little break in play. But it's Swansea who have it at the back with their half-time substitute Darling. That's a lovely ball forward. Perot trying to get on the end of it. Good tackle coming in from Cam Pring. He needed to win that one, and out over the sideline it goes, because that was almost inch perfect.
Yeah, I'm going to call that as a 4-2-3-1 now. Naismith and James Holding, three in front of them. Semenyo off the right, Alex Scott in the middle, Vyman off to the left, leaving Naki Wells up front by himself.
Yeah. Well, you wonder with that, I mean, Naismith can kind of play there, you feel, but he's not a central midfielder by trade, and with Joe Williams on the sideline, You wonder whether that might be a change that they're thinking about. As a poor pass for once from Allen, it's picked off from Wells. Wells just taking a little bit too long on the ball though here. He's being forced down a cul-de-sac. He rides the first challenge, gets taken out by the second one. And that's one of those where there's a few hands being held up and apologising for both runs and not releasing it. But having got the ball there, he's got to make that. He's got to shift it quicker.
Yeah, but it's better. At least you've got the crowd involved.
Yeah.
You know, the City fans now starting to find the voice.
Nice ball out from Viner to try and Pring on that left-hand touchline. Back it goes to Atkinson. Into Naismith in the midfield. That's a lovely ball forward, looking for the run of Vyman, who's out on that left-hand side. He's onside. Ball into the danger zone, and Darling didn't look happy, but he's looped it over his own bar with Semenya ready to tuck it in behind him. But you're right, Gary, it is better.
Yeah, better. One ball played around the corner, in behind by Naismith. Vyman, a willing runner, gets a chance to cross it, crosses it first time, forced Swansea City into an error, and had to kick it over the bar, and City have won a corner.
So Matty James to take every Swansea player back. Alex Scott is short if he wants to play it short. Plenty of red and white shirts in the box. James with City's first corner kick of the afternoon into the danger zone. Atkinson desperately trying to get there. It comes to Vyman. He gets plenty of power on the shot, but not the accuracy, always rising over the bar. So quickly, City now with the rejigged formation. Max O'Leary in goal. A back four of Tanner, Viner, Atkinson and Pring, as Atkinson does really well to win that one in the air and lands slightly awkwardly on the far side, but I think he's okay. And then it's Matty James and Cal Naismith as the two holding midfielders. Alex Scott in front of them centrally, with Andreas Vyman wide, I think nominally on one side, Naki Wells through the middle, and Semenyo on the other, as Tanner battles really hard there to get past two players and gives it to Naismith. Naismith trying to slide in Tanner, who is brought down off the ball by Cullen. And the referee had a long think about that one, but eventually gives City the free kick.
Yeah, but listen to the crowd now. City have increased the tempo on the pitch. They're having a go now at Swansea. Swansea all of a sudden aren't in control of the ball.
Yeah, and we've got an atmosphere at Ashton Gate. This ball out to the far side. Pring controls it nicely on his chest. Goes back to Atkinson. Atkinson, no real option other than to find his goalkeeper and O'Leary's. Touch was not great from the keeper, so he finds Atkinson, who gives it back to O'Leary. Those two passing the ball between them, and Atkinson eventually able to get it downfield. One in the air by Latibaudiere, helped on by Grimes, but to no one in particular, and Cam Pring giving a piggyback there to Jay Fulton, having got his body between player and ball. Let's give you the visitors team. Then Stephen Bender is the goalkeeper. Back four of Joel Latibaudiere, Harry Darling now, Nathan Wood and Ryan Manning. Jay Fulton, Joe Allen and Matt Grimes in midfield. Oliver Cooper and Joel Perreault in front of them, but behind Liam Cullen. Hang on, what's gone on here? Has that ball gone out beforehand? That surely was a City throw-in.
Yeah,
but
it was. Cam Pring just threw the ball at Alex Scott's thigh, didn't give him any chance whatsoever. All he could do was thigh it straight out of play.
Well, City trying to get back on terms. A goal down as Grimes, nice change of direction from him, but Fulton under pressure. Grimes has to really stretch to control that, and City undoubtedly pressing a little bit higher and harder than they did in that first half. Keeper Bender looking for the long ball forward. That should be Atkinson's all afternoon long. It is. Into midfield it goes. Wells battles for it, but loses that battle, and it's now with Joe Allen. Allen, he almost turned into Wells, but just about gets the pass away. And then Fulton trying to flick it into the path of Perreault, but straight into touch it goes for a City throw. So 8 and a bit minutes played in the second half, and it is 1-0 to the visitors from across the bridge. Pring down the line, little flick on is going to come to Naki Wells. Wells back to Naismith, curled it into an area, asking a lot of Tanner, who I don't think is going to get there. He isn't. And Manning, the Irishman, content to shepherd it over the sideline, taking his time with the throw-in. To be fair, he hasn't got a lot of options. Goes short, gets it back, but then it's nipped away by City. Ball down the line is recovered by Grimes though, and back to goalkeeper Bender it goes. Bender playing it out to the far side. Fulton looking to keep it in, flicks it infield to Latibaudiere. Now Allen, and worked neatly back to Wood. Gives it to Grimes. Gets it back. Allen's made a run, but is ignored. It's with Fulton instead, and now Grimes looking to step out from between the two central defenders and get them moving forward, but gets so far and then quite happy to turn back out and use the centre-backs once more. Darling approaching the halfway line, feigns to play it forward and then dribbles a little bit of space here for Cooper. Cooper lays it wide to Manning. Manning's ball into the box, goes all the way across the area and is eventually cleared by Cam Pring, but only as far as a grey shirt. Darling gets caught late. Does he? No. Referee says no, and Scott gets City moving forward quickly, gives it to Vyman. Vyman looking to have a little run here. It's Allen coming back at him. I just wish he'd taken him on, but instead of which he gives it to Scott. Scott back towards Vyman. Then it's Scott once more, putting it back onto his left foot, trying to get the shot away. Didn't have the space to really swing his leg, and it ricochets up, and it's to safety with Swansea.
Yeah, I mean, it is better, but you want to see Vyman recognise you up against Joe Allen 1v1, go and take him on, and then Alex Scott gets on the ball inside that Swansea City 18-yard box. Can he get that shot off a little bit earlier? Cuts back inside and the picture changes.
Yeah, and the door slammed shut in the end, but much more progressive, much more attacking from City in this second half. 1-0 down they are, though, needing a goal to stay in. The tie is a poor touch there from Grimes in midfield. It's won back by the onrushing Naismith, and now it's with Wells. Wells down the channel towards Naismith, and that's where you show a defender's look. He wasn't looking to get in down the channel. The ball was to Vyman, but Wells hadn't recognised that.
It was a good opportunity. I mean, again, you're looking at Naismith, who played as a centre-half all season, making forward runs now into the 18-yard box.
But what he did there is he got touched tight to his midfielder and nicked the ball before he had a chance to do anything clever with it. There's a lesson there. It does come with risks, because if you do get it wrong, then you're in a world of danger. But City need to take a risk or two at the moment, because as things stand, they're going out of the FA Cup at the first round hurdle, and it's not a competition that's been particularly kind to them in recent seasons, as Swansea looking to try and drive down the far touchline, but Pring steps in to win it back. He's got support from Atkinson, who just clicks it down the line, gives it to Semenyo. It's not a great ball back to Atkinson from Semenyo, but he does well enough with it. Nice play from Scott to draw the man, but then it comes through to Wells, who tries to head it to a teammate, but in steps Joe Allen, who's doing pretty well here to hold City away from the ball. Back it goes to Manning, feigns to cross it, but lays it square instead. Grimes wide to Allen, who started all that off. He's got Manning overlapping him. He's going to try and go between the middle of two City defenders, but Naki Wells does well to get a boot on it, and he was thinking about playing it quickly downfield, and then he is over elaborate and runs out of pitch, and over the sideline it goes for a throw, and it's not lacking endeavour, it's just lacking a little bit of quality at the moment, City.
And it's a different style of play, isn't it? I mean, Swansea just pass it for fun everywhere. Naki Wells looks up, he can see Vyman and he can see Semenyo, but they're a long way away from him, and he can't find another pass into midfield.
And Vyman had made the run as if to go over the top, and if Wells releases it first time, maybe he gets in, but as soon as it doesn't go first time, Vyman's going to run offside and Wells is out of options. It's Swansea in possession on the far side. Pring doing well, takes it off his man very easily, and then evades the attempted ball back at him, and then Latibodiere takes him out. Gets the free kick. That's better from City, just more aggressive all over the pitch, as Scott takes the free kick quickly.
Yeah, the sharper in possession. I mean, having the right go now, second half. They're trying to win the ball back further up the pitch, and they have done on a couple of occasions, but I think nearly an hour in, I'm not sure that the Swansea keeper's made a save, has he?
No, and that is the problem, as ball forward just goes between Vyman and Wells. It's cleared by Swansea, only onto the head of Atkinson, controlled by Grimes. We got a little bit fortunate there, but gets the pass away to Latibodiere, the right back moving forward, but then just passes it back to no one in particular. Allen tidies up, finds Cooper, then Manning, all this just inside the City half. Bit of space now for Grimes if he wants to turn and be aggressive. Has a think about going forward, then just lays it square to Allen, who's got nice space out wide on the right from Latibodiere, looking to clip it to the far post, and he's going to be controlled by Manning. Is that kept in? The assistant says no, the flag is up. It is a goal kick to City. It looked like it had drifted the wrong side of the line, but the flag just took a while to get there.
Yeah, probably just as well he miscontrolled that, because he had a lot of space there, Ryan Manning, inside the City 18-yard box on the left-hand side.
Andreas Weimann is receiving some running repairs and wanted it on the pitch, but is being told to go off the pitch on this near side. It's his left wrist that looks like it's being strapped up, but a lot of space for Naismith in the centre of the pitch. It's a glorious pass out to this near side for Tanner. Beautifully weighted and right into his path. Tanner looking to slide it down the channel for the run of Wells. Wells will get there. Can he get the ball back to Tanner? Yes, he can. Tanner tries to roll it across the face of goal, where Alex Scott was there to tap it in, but the defender got in the way, stopped the ball from getting there. But City working hard to try and win it back quickly. They do it with Matty James. James looking ahead, but there's nobody in the box, so he ties it down the channel towards Wells. Down goes Scott in the box. It's not going to be given, and then Weimann trying to get up on the second ball. James heads it back towards Semenyo. Semenyo tries to roll a challenge. It breaks to him, but outside the box. Finds Naismith. Glorious pass out to the left-hand side. Finding Pring. Pring, can he get across into the danger zone? Yes, he can, towards Wells. Yeah, that's not going to get a penalty for that. He was trying to guide the header down, and then there's a push.
Penalty!
And what's the referee done here?
It's got to be.
Alex Scott has ended up on the
down
ground. He's been pushed to the floor. The referee is giving a yellow card.
It's got to be a penalty.
Well, you would think so. It's a foul inside the area, unless he's already blown the whistle before that, which we couldn't hear in all the kerfuffle. Well, there's quizzical looks all around us. Who is it that got the yellow card? Because it was Scott that went down. It was a two-handed shove in the chest. Semenyo is going away. I think the referee has blown the whistle before the pushing and shoving, so it's not going to be a penalty.
So what's it going to be?
Well, who knows? Andreas Weimann is making the point to the referee that somebody used a shoulder in there.
Going on. Alex Scott was free. He went down under a challenge, but the referee didn't even see that.
Well, the yellow card was shown to one of the Swansea players. There were three of them stood next to each other, so I couldn't tell you which one it was.
How on earth is it?
But it's a free kick to Swansea.
Well, I just can't explain that then. And is that, well, it's right on the line, isn't it? So it doesn't make any difference. It's not a penalty, but goodness me.
Well, it's certainly been incident-packed, despite the fact we haven't had that much goalmouth activity. City definitely committing more men forward. Bender under real pressure there, just able to get it away before it was blocked down. But it goes straight through to his opposite number, and City bring it out from the back. It's Tanner on this near side, looking to play it down the channel for the run of Weimann. It's just too far in front of him. Manning keeps it in, but he smires that one against the shins of Joe Allen, and it's very fortunate it ricochets back to Darling, who gets Swansea moving the right way. Cooper looking to try and get past his man. Yeah, that is a free kick. He went past Viner, and Viner, not a nasty tackle, but definitely one the referee was going to blow up for. Well, it's got a lot more high octane in the second half, hasn't it, Gary?
Well, we've got a game now. City are having a go, getting a little bit of joy, getting down the sides of the Swansea defenders for the first time. I mean, George Tanner got in a great position there, didn't he? And he just couldn't deliver that final ball, which has by and large been the story of the game for City.
Naki Wells having a good old battle with Wood on the far side. Nobody wins it cleanly. It breaks to a grey shirt though, and then Semenyo's tackle is out into touch for a throw-in to the visitors.
Well, I tell you, it was Nathan Wood that got the yellow card.
Okay, well, there we go.
It clearly was a push, so what happened after that, nobody knows.
Well, you'd think the only reason that it's not a penalty is that the whistle must have gone before that, because you push somebody over and it's a yellow card in the box, it's a foul, it's a penalty. But, well, I think the ones in the first half, certainly the second of the two, the more clear-cut. As that ball seemed to go out on the far side, as it was maybe just kept in by Fulton. Work back to Wood, the latest to go into the book, and now Darling. Big, tall, blonde-haired central defender. Dribbles over the halfway line. Still in possession, he's going laterally. Now he's thinking about just clipping it forward towards Allen. Gets it back to Darling in an advanced position here. Under pressure, goes back. Finds a teammate looking to switch it out to this near side, but well read by George Tanner. He's going to concede the throw-in, but made sure that Manning didn't get on the ball. Throw-in taken back to Grimes, as so often is the case. One of those two sort of holding midfielders drops back into the defence, and the ball forward is a bit aimless though. Headed forward by Joe Allen. Perot battling with Pring for it, and Pring adjudged to have got the free kick. Perot hasn't realised the whistle has gone, and the free kick has gone City's way. It's a pretty soft one, to be fair. The first challenge, there wasn't a lot of shoulder to shoulder in that, but City will take it, and with 25 minutes of normal time left to play, the only thing you'd say is they still haven't really worked Bender in the Swansea goal enough.
No, they haven't. I mean, a couple of good situations to cross the ball across the face of the goal, but it's been intercepted at the near post. No clear strikes on target at all for City.
As they try and play a bit of head tennis through the Swansea defence. It doesn't quite work out, but they win it back now, and it's with Weimann wide on the right-hand side, looking to play it down the channel, but it was one of those awkward ones. Tanner, I think, almost half wanted to let it go, wasn't sure he could do, took a touch, and that allows Swansea to nip back in and maintain or regain possession. Latibaudiere, back it goes to Wood. Square to Darling. Now Manning, infield to Allen. Oh, that's a ball that could easily have been picked off. It gets through to Cooper. He's on the left-hand touchline. Manning comes to join in and tries to flick it to the other side, where he finds Latibaudiere to the edge of the area. Perot lays it off. The shot comes in from Joe Allen. It's blocked by Rob Atkinson, who does well there and gets the clearance up to Naki Wells, who is unable to hold on to it. And now Fulton going for the shot. Rasping effort, always over the bar. O'Leary looked like he had it covered, but that's the best that Swansea have produced in the second half.
Yeah, it was a good effort. Dipping shot with power. 25 yards out after nicking the ball in midfield. A nice little bit of footwork, but never troubling Max O'Leary.
As Tanner gets brought down by Cooper. Free kick goes their way, and it is very much, it's a sort of Man City-esque. They're quite happy with the quick fouls, aren't they? They look to get the ball back quickly, and if they can't win it, they'll look to break the game up. Lots of niggly little fouls, and well, they're now within, if not touching distance, then getting that way of reaching the fourth round of the FA Cup, which you feel on the basis of what we've seen would be a little unfair. But City, as they have so often in recent weeks, doing plenty of good things, but not enough to get victories. And that is certainly the way it stands at the moment, with Swansea a goal to the good, and Allen in a little pocket of space. He wants Manning making a run down this near touchline. Manning does get there, gets the cross in. It's well defended by Zach Viner, and it's going to come back to Manning. Manning plays it into the edge of the box, where a heavy touch from Cooper gives it to City, and it's good play there on this near touchline. Oh, I'm not sure what Cal Naismith did wrong there, but somehow that's a free kick to Swansea.
I have to say, he's had a right go.
He has.
Cal Naismith, since he's gone into midfield, and it's not always easy, because you play in one position and you get a feel for that position, and it's a different pace of the game in midfield, I can tell you. And he is having a go. One or two good passes. He's really putting a shift in there.
Yeah, just instead of having everything in front of you, you've got to have eyes in the back of your head, literally, haven't you? Especially if you're playing central midfield, which is where he is.
Yeah, and longer running, you know, it catches your breathing out, and he's doing well. And I think out of all the City players, he's probably influenced the game more than most.
Yep, would not argue with that. 1-0, they still are down. Free kick to Swansea, about 10-15 yards inside the City half, wide left. Ref encouraging Manning to get on with it, which he does eventually. Just hangs it up towards the far post. Darling wins the header. It's good defending there again. Naismith getting there in front of anybody in a grey shirt, and a chance for Pring to clear it. Has that one curled out and come back in?
It's a late tackle, I think, on Cam Pring, but I mean, he looked up Cam Pring, and there's no City player at all ahead of him to pass to, put his foot through it, through the foul.
It's Darling who got a yellow card. I have to say, I was watching the flight of the ball, not what happened after that. So City get the free kick in their own half, and you can tell Swansea are much more rattled than they were in the first half, just by the sheer number of yellow cards that they're picking up, as Naismith rides the challenge of Cooper well, clips it down the line looking for the run of Alex Scott. Latibaudiere gets there in front of him. Well, both sides have had a few of those where they've gone down easily. Not a lot of contact there, but enough for the referee, and played into the centre of the pitch. Zach Viner, does he make contact? I don't think he did, otherwise he'd be in trouble there. The referee in close proximity says no free kick. Naismith trying to cushion that one first time to Pring, has got his angles all wrong and given it to Swansea, but Atkinson steps in to win it back, and this time Naismith does find his pass with Alex Scott, the recipient. Down the line towards Semenyo. Semenyo Has got Allen there with him. Yes, again, that's what I want to see. He goes straight past him. He's got Wells making a run outside him. He eventually does give it to him. Wells did well to stay onside there. Tries to drive the cross in. It gets a deflection behind for a corner kick. Much better. They've got to back themselves in those situations.
And be positive. Semenyo being positive.
And they've taken the corner quickly. It's worked to Scott. Angle at the edge of the area. Naismith wants it. He's going to try and clip it into the danger zone, but everybody was running out of it. Not a bad effort, but just when you play off the cuff like that, unless you're all on the same page, it's easy for it to go wrong, isn't it?
Exactly that. Nobody was on the same wavelength as Cal Naismith. It's a delicate chip ball, isn't it? Right behind the Swansea defenders, but just needs a run in behind. Nobody did it.
If somebody makes the run, it's glorious as it is. It doesn't look great. Joe Williams is coming on. And it looks like Mark Sykes is going to be joining us too as City win it back in midfield. Ball played to Naismith, 10 yards outside the Swansea area. He's got support wide from Tanner. Plays it into his path. First time cross from Tanner. It's a glorious ball. It's just too high for Alex Scott. He jumped high, but he just couldn't make contact. It's kept in though. Back into the danger zone. Keeper comes. Oh, he didn't get there, and it's glanced ever so agonisingly wide from Andreas Weimann. Did well again to get up the ball slightly behind him. Gets there in front of the keeper and just can't get it on target.
Yeah, much better. I mean, two great balls in from both wing backs. First of all, Tanner delivers a cross from the byline, just too high for Alex Scott at the far post. The ball finds its way to Cam Pring on the other side. He delivers a brilliant ball just into the 6-yard box. The goalkeeper Bender comes for it. He can't get anywhere near it. Weimann just nicks in ahead of him, but unfortunately it wasn't on target. City make a double change now.
So who is coming off? Cal Naismith is one of those going off, and he should get a good round of applause here. He's looking a bit weary, to be honest, in central midfield, but replaced by somebody more naturally playing that position in Joe Williams. And Mark Sykes will be coming on. I would imagine it'll be Tanner. Yeah, it is George Tanner who goes off, so a more attacking right-sided player, as Sykes making his first appearance since Lincoln. So a chance for him to redeem himself in terms of a different cup competition. As Swansea take the goal kick short. Manning into Joe Allen under a little bit of pressure. Gets the pass away though. Latibaudiere down the line to Perrault. And there's a little shirt tug there. Referee spotted it and rightly gives Swansea the free kick. So just, 18 minutes of normal time. We'll have 3 or 4 of added time. So 20 minutes, give or take, for City to try and find an equaliser here. They've got to do a bit better marking of job than that one, because that pass to Cooper finds him all alone inside the City half, and it's a good challenge on him by Matty James that wins it back. And now Joe Williams, his first involvement is to give the ball to Semenyo. Semenyo could have released Sykes, decided to keep hold of the ball, holds his hands up to apologise, but if he wasn't sure he could make the pass, then probably the right thing to do. O'Leary looking long towards the far touchline, and Pring, well, taken off him by Latibaudiere, but it's now ricocheted into Naki Wells. He's going to lay this back to Pring, who's in support. Alex Scott's over there to Pring. Little step over. Can he get to the dead ball line? Yes, he should be able to. Drives it across the face of goal. Just too high. Did really well to get to the dead ball line, but if he's going to hit it that hard, he's got to keep it low.
Yeah, really positive. Good attacking play. Gets all the way to the byline, and then the cross is too high, really. Nobody's going to connect with that. All the way out the other side for a throw-in.
I wonder if they've gone wing-backs again. I don't know. We'll wait and see exactly how they line up. They're certainly going to throw men forward, and rightly so, as Swansea taking a turn to take the throw. Manning with the ball in his hands. Eventually does give it to Grimes, gets it back. Grimes, first time clearance, gets a deflection from Cullum, but it's going to come to a red shirt. Atkinson loops it up in the air. Fulton heads it forward. Cullum flicks it on, but again, it's a red shirt there to tidy it up. Wide to Sykes. Sykes was looking forward. There was nothing there he liked, so short it goes instead. And now Viner looking to clip it down the line. Just too high for Semenyo, but Wells might just about get there. He actually tangles legs with the defender. It wasn't a penalty or a foul, frankly, but almost ended with a good situation for City, and that ball back to Grimes played him into all sorts of trouble. That's really well done from Matt Grimes to get out of that in his own area, and a first-time ball downfield to find a teammate. But they're just snapping into those challenges now, and Atkinson it is that wins it well. He's driving forward, goes for the shot, having won the ball. It blocked by a defender, but it's recycled by Pring. First time cross from Vyman towards the far post. It's Semenyo's header. It's in! Oh, the keeper's made a horrible mistake, but Semenyo won't care. His second goal in as many games. Headed into the ground. The keeper went to the ground and it bounced over him into the back of the net. He won't care. The goal had been coming. Nobody out there looks happier than Rob Atkinson celebrating in defence with Matty James. 2 goals in 2 games for Antoine Semenyo, and it's all square at Ashton Gate. City 1, Swansea 1.
Well, it doesn't matter how it went in. The goalkeeper's had a stinker there. Downward header, good ball in. Semenyo attached the cross, bounced straight over the top of him. City back in the game, and they've done much better. This is going to be interesting. Double substitution for Swansea.
Well, no surprise, because they've been under all sorts of pressure. It's Olivier Ncham who is going to come on. He's one of the forwards, and Luke Cundle is the other player. So going off is... who is that? It's Cullen going off as one of them, and Joe Allen is the other one. So Ncham will go up front, I would sure. And then Cundle will probably fit into that midfield. But we'll feel that he's had to do something, Russell Martin, because his team have been on the back foot for pretty much the entire second half, Gary.
Yes, they've done much better. Fair play. Nigel Pearson had to do something. And what he did do, here we go again.
It's a poor pass, and it's going to be picked off here by Naki Wells. Clip him. Oh, he's put it wide. Has the keeper got a touch to it? Yes, he did. But if he just gets a bit more height on that, he's done really well, Stephen Bender, to get back the German. Bit more height, and he's got no chance.
I fancied the chip there. I mean, he looked up, the keeper was miles off his line. He went for power. Excellent strike. Good save.
Well, close, but not quite close enough. Corner kick is taken short. Work back to Joe Williams. Williams clips it into the box, but it's over the heads of everybody in a red and white shirt, and try as he might, Rob Atkinson isn't going to be able to get on the end of that one, and it is a goal kick. Well, good for Antoine Semenyo, his 7th goal of the season. He's only had 11 starts, so he had that long dry spell, didn't he, after he scored a few early on, but is now rediscovering his mojo.
Yeah, and that can only be a good thing.
As a throw-in back to Max O'Leary, played the keeper into quite a bit of trouble there, and eventually City get away with it and get a goal kick out of it. And I'm not sure there's much of a formation at the moment. It's just a bit bodies all over the place from City's point of view, but I think they're still going for this. They want to win this.
Back 4, 4-2-3-1. I mean, they've done much better. Got the crowd involved, which is really important, especially in a cup tie. And Rob Atkinson was involved heavily, wasn't he, in the build-up of the goal, so redeemed himself to some degree for that mistake in the first half.
Yeah, just desperately trying to get forward and affect the game positively. City, you can see they're buzzing around in midfield. Joe Williams chief among them, as Naki Wells just gets out of his way and says, go on, you keep going. Wins a throw-in down the line. Vyman taking it quickly towards Semenyo, looking to play at pace here, City. Semenyo, nice little tricks, looking to clip that one into the path of Wells. Wells into the area. There's 2 City players go down, and they both get their finger wagged at them by the referee. Alex Scott and Andreas Vyman, as Zach Viner, who steps in defence, takes it away from Ncham, and City trying to play attack against defence at the moment, as Wells comes and offers himself for that, but it just shows, I think that's a little bit unfortunate. I think Manning did well there and probably deserved to have nicked the ball there, but we'll take the free kick.
I'm talking about playing on the front foot. This is what I call playing on the front foot. Right up and at them, in the faces, high energy, good intensity. Really look the strongest team at the minute.
Yeah, they do, and Vyman's going to have a little word with the referee again, and I didn't see the one on him. I was watching Alex Scott a lot more closely, and the defender had 2 hands and pulled him away.
I was watching Scott as well. He was just pushed off the ball, like you say, and then Vyman went down. He looked very, very angry.
Well, not given, as that attempted crossfield ball from Joe Williams overhit. No chance for Sykes to get on the end of that one. But Swansea are hanging on now. They'll be desperate to try and get City back to Southwest Wales as things stand, because that's one team on the attack. As again a poor pass out of defence is picked off by City. Tackle comes in, referee says he got the ball. I think, to be fair, Darling did get the ball there, as Vyman looking to try and capitalise on Alex Scott's nicking of the ball. Played wide by Fulton to the far side, and Perot under pressure from the City defence plays it down the line, but Matty James is there to tidy up. Back it goes to O'Leary. and O'Leary takes a touch and gets it downfield. Only finds a grey-shirted head, but City win it back again through Atkinson, who has really responded well to that initial mistake that gave Swansea the lead, and now loads of space for Mark Sykes to drive forward. He's got a couple of players making runs. He tries to slide it through to Wells at the far post, and that was good positioning from Nathan Wood to make sure it didn't reach him.
Yeah, positive. Plays the ball into a dangerous area, and the defender's got to deal with it.
Sykes infield to Joe Williams. Lovely turn from him. Plays it right the way across the face of goal. Nobody trying to get there, and then Mackie Wells, he's gone down looking for the penalty there. That's never a penalty.
No, it's not. It's not. But there's some contact. It's not a penalty.
Yeah, and the problem is City have deserved at least, well, I say at least one penalty in this one. As again, a poor defensive pass is picked off by Vyman, but Wood is there to pick up the pieces and get it clear. But doing obvious sort of fake penalties like that just makes the referee even less inclined to give you the next one, perhaps.
It does, especially if it happens to be the same player.
Yeah, and that's the thing City need to be aware of. So Sam Bell looks like he's going to be coming on and joining us before too much longer. Fresh pair of legs if nothing else, or just an extra attacker is possible, as Ncham is challenged by Viner, and it's Semenyo who picks the ball up off him. Gives it back to O'Leary, and O'Leary to Viner. And Viner always tried to slide it infield to Joe Williams. Just gets a little deflection off Ncham, and through to a grey-shirted Swansea player it goes. Swansea pass it forward. It's an awful pass there from Wood, and Scott there to take advantage. Gives it to Pring. Now Matty James. O'Leary wanted somebody coming short for him. Eventually he does get it. James slightly underhits that back pass, but Atkinson's there to deal with it, and then O'Leary launches it out to this near touchline looking for Sykes. Sykes gets taken out under the ball there from Manning, who I think knew exactly what he was doing, but I don't think it's a foul. It's certainly a painful one for Mark Sykes, though. Into the final 10 minutes we go. One apiece in this FA Cup third round match between these two championship rivals. It was one apiece in the league match here earlier in the season, as Ncham tries to flick that infield, but Matty James there to take it off him, and it's now with Joe Williams looking to get it forward quickly towards Vyman. Oh, it's a handball, surely a handball. Although was it Vyman, or was it?
It's handball.
It's
handball, but referee not interested.
Well, to be fair, his position probably wasn't the greatest there, but the assistant on the far side should have seen that, or even the one on the near side. It looked like Latibodiere. It hit it, didn't maybe mean to, but it hit his hand as it was dropping over his shoulder, with Vyman looking to get in behind him. Oh. There have been some contentious decisions as Perot, the Swansea goal scorer, tidies it up and plays it infield to Fulton. Time for a shot if he wants to take it. He does, and it stings the palms of O'Leary, but it was pretty much straight at it, and he palms it up to himself, and he's done well, the City keeper, as he slides it out underarm. And now it's Joe Williams looking to drive City forward. Slides the ball out to Cam Pring on the far side. Pring looking to give City a first lead of the afternoon. It's a poor pass though, giving Wells no chance of getting on the end of that one. And Swansea showing a little bit more composure there. Get it forward to Cooper, and Cooper's still going, and that's going to be a yellow card for Pring. He'll be the second City player to go into the book, much as one of the visiting players did it in the first half. And the change is going to be made, and it's Alex Scott who's going off. And I can only imagine there's probably an element of just sheer number of miles he's run in central midfield. And Sam Bell certainly gives you another attacking threat.
Yes, well, he'll play in a wide area, I would think, maybe, or is he going to go and play in number 10 position? Let's wait and see. But plenty of energy, will make runs in behind. Keep saying he's scored all his goals at under 21 level, and he'd be desperate to get that senior goal, won't he?
Well, Alex Scott looking pretty weary as he comes to the bench, as the free kick is taken short, unsurprisingly, from Swansea. Coming to feet is Cundle. Ball works its way to Latibodiere, and now back it goes to Wood on the halfway line. Wood plays it to Fulton, then back to the defender, who didn't realise that Semenyo was right there with him. Semenyo actually ran into Wells there, but he's still in possession of the ball as the City striker. Is he dumped to the floor? Yes, he is. He's thinking about taking it quickly, but to be fair, there are more grey-shirted defenders than red-shirted attackers, so he'd be better off holding on to it as he did. And it's played back to James. Now Viner to O'Leary. O'Leary looking wide out towards Sykes. Again, just too high to him again. Manning cuts underneath him and he lands slightly awkwardly, does Mark Sykes, but he's picked himself up as Darling goes back to Bender, and again, no option but to clear it. It's not a great clearance, and it's picked up here by Joe Williams, who's driving forward. Good work there, trying to clip it into the area was Vyman. He's going to pick up the other pieces here on the edge of the box, and hooks it, tries to play it towards the edge of the area, and he actually makes too good a contact there, and it goes through to the keeper.
Yeah, I mean, he's come into the game, hasn't he? Since a formation change, Vyman much more involved in the action.
As Grimes almost turns himself into trouble there. Wells retreating and almost picking his pocket. We're going to get another change for the visitors. Cameron Congreve will be coming on before too long, as Cundall gives it back to Darling. Darling showing good composure there. He's gone past a couple of challenges and he's still going, the big central defender. He's halfway into the City half, looking to try and play in Perot's onside. Just delays too long. That's great defending from Cam Pring, and he gets the goal kick out of it. The assistant taking a long time to make his decision. That should have been 2-1, frankly. I mean, it was beautifully played from Darling, and Pro takes it first time. I think he probably scores.
Well, I think he's past all the defenders, but he is electric. 2 or 3 yards, Cam Pring made up there to get something on the ball. Brilliant defending.
So Cooper is going off, and Congreve will be coming on in his place. So that was really good defensive play from Cam Pring, though. To be honest, other than scoring the goal, Perot's been a passenger in the game. He really hasn't been involved in anything good from Swansea going forward.
Swansea were good, playing football in the first half, but they never got out of sight, and City have been much better in the second half. Really had a go and turned the game on its head a little bit, haven't they?
As the pass back to the keeper here is made into an awkward one from Naki Wells. The clearance is effective enough, and Atkinson underneath it tries to keep it on the pitch, can't do, and over the far touchline it goes for a Swansea throw. Into the final 3.5 minutes we go, one apiece here between Bristol City and Swansea City in the third round of the FA Cup. And to be honest, other than the goal, I'm not sure Swansea have done a great deal in terms of an attacking threat this afternoon.
Max has intercepted a couple of crosses, hasn't he? Parried one out early in the second half. He caught a good one in the first half. They've never got through 1v1 against Max, and yeah, lots of pretty football in the middle of the pitch, but not the killer instinct really at the other end.
As Semenyo was trying to draw the foul, didn't get it. Swansea back in possession. Neat little triangle gets them out of a tight situation. And it's Congreve. First involvement of the game is to ghost past one player, but then Joe Williams just comes and says, "Thank you very much, I'll have that," and takes the ball back off him, gives it to Max O'Leary. O'Leary to Viner, and Viner does well to keep the ball moving to Sykes. Sykes into Vyman. Oh, that's an underhit power ball, but just had enough legs to get to Viner, and Viner's ball down the field has actually found Sykes. Sykes with bodies in the box to aim for. He's overplayed that one though. He needed to get it in, and Bell was in a great position beyond the far post, and his last touch was just too heavy. There's a Swansea player down in the area, and while Swansea are in possession of the ball, there's a player down injured in their own box, and he's going to need a bit of treatment here.
Yeah, timely intervention from the ref, because Swansea midfield player there in acres of space just about to turn and head up against City's back line. But yeah, Viner done really well there to release Sykes, and he was in a great position once again. Ball, or you know, crying out for it to be crossed across the face of the goal, and he just overran it.
Yeah. The ball was to Bell. He'd made a lovely run out to the far post, wasn't being marked. A curling ball, edge of the 6-yard box, and he's there to try and tap it in. But easy to see from here. Last 90 seconds of normal time, plus whatever added time we're going to get. And Russell Martin very demonstratively telling some of his players what he wants from them. Genuinely though, if this goes to a replay, which at the moment obviously it is, City just need to, you can't go gung-ho, you can't go crazy against them and overcommit players, but you get in their faces, get a little bit tighter than they managed in that first half, and they've really struggled.
Yeah, well, was it the formation or was it just the attitude and the performance in the second half that have changed things for City? And it'd be interesting to see, because they've had 2 good draws in the league, and they've played 5 at the back all season, or 3 centre-halves if you like. And the second half, they've been effective playing with the back 4, and will that have a bearing on things going forward?
Well, time will tell with that, as the player, it's Fulton it was, who must have been clattered into by Sykes when he slightly overran that ball, is picked himself up and is back on the field as the ball played back to Bender, with Vyman in close attendance. Zach Vyner needed to win that header, and win it he did, and it's come to Sykes, and Sykes is going to trip past his man and then play it wide to Bell, who's hugging this right-hand touchline. Bell having a little run at his man. Can he get to the dead ball line? He can't, because it's blocked, but it is a throw-in by the corner flag. And Zach Vyner being encouraged to go forward for the long throw, but it's taken before he can get there, and Bell has it at his feet, looking to play it into Joe Williams, who made a good run. Williams right away across the face of goal, and nobody gambled on it.
Best ball of the game.
Williams has made a great run, and both Wells and Vyman in the area look up to the heavens and know that if they'd have just gambled, that was the game right there.
It was a tap-in from a yard, wasn't it? Agonising.
I didn't see how much added time because play was going on, so we'll have to find out in the fullness of time. I bet it's 3 or 4 minutes, but you could see the anguish on all 3 of their faces. Williams knows he's done everything spot on. He's literally put it on a plate for somebody running in, and there was nobody obliging.
Yeah, good play initially from Bell. He released Williams, drives it across the goal mouth, and just, come on, somebody slide in, slightest touch would have changed it, but nobody was there.
Defensive header from Rob Atkinson comes into midfield, and Cham chests it into a bit of space on this left-hand touchline. He's got Manning making a run supporting him, but Bell's tracked him all the way back. Flick back infield to Fulton. Fulton 10 yards outside the box, leaves it wide to Cham. Down the channel it goes to Cundle, but his ball into the edge of the area is easily picked off by City, and that's a nice ball from Vyman into the path of Bell. He doesn't quite take the ball with him though, and that allows Cundle to get back and block his attempted pass forward. It's with Congreve, but he hadn't realised that Naki Wells was coming from his blind side, and he does well to take it off him now, and maybe Cam Pring one last run forward with those legs down the left-hand side, and that's that's a tired challenge from Joel Perreault, who I think is apologising to Cam Pring because he's basically body checked him to the floor there.
Yeah, I mean, we are going to play 5 minutes of injury time, I can tell you.
Well, there you go. That's of which we played 90 seconds, so we've got 3.5 minutes, and at the moment, if one team's going to get it, it's going to be City. Bristol, not Swansea. As Pring picks himself up, he's limping somewhat, but he's going back to his sort of defensive position on the halfway line. Joe Williams is telling everybody what he's going to do with this ball. He's got Semenyo out wide on the far side. That's the pass, but he's going to clip it into the area. Looking for the run of Naki Wells. He's onside. Wells is onside, but the only thing I can think is he's run, the ball's gone too close to Andreas Vyman, who was offside, and now they've got to be careful. What's going on here? The referee saying it can't be taken quickly. Well,
Ashley Grimes was furious there. Swansea were up and running there.
I'm not surprised, and Cham gets the ball on the halfway line, gives it back to Darling. Darling looking to drive forward, as he's done a couple of times, but it's not on. So back it goes to Grimes. Grimes wide to Manning, the left back, who played almost 3 of the added 5 minutes. And Darling on the halfway line. Tries a little change of pace, it doesn't work. And back to Wood it goes, and they're just keeping possession at the moment. Trying to keep City off the ball. Manning back to Darling, they've been forced deep into their own half here by City. Bender lays it wide to Wood, and Wood's just going to put his boot through that one. Forward it goes. Perreault and Atkinson get there at the same time. Is it kept in on the far side? No, it isn't, and it is going to be a Swansea throw.
I think you've got to give Rob Atkinson a pat on the back, because he has recovered from a horrific mistake. He's shown a lot of character to get through that. The player down injured.
Yeah, Vyman's been told to go down by the bench. I think he is struggling, as Mark Sykes does well to get that ball before anybody else. There's going to be a free kick there on the halfway line. Semenyo and Darling. Darling having a few words with Semenyo, and then they're going to go head to head. and then Darling pushes him away, and having already been yellow carded, he's going to have to be careful as the centre back. And Semenyo making the case to the referee and saying that Weimann is injured and hopefully nothing too serious for him.
Yeah, so the referee's going to run 90 yards across the pitch to see if Andres Weimann's all right, and he's not a physio. Thankfully, the Bristol City physio has got some sense about him. He's made his way all the way around there behind the goal and can just come on there from 2 yards.
Well, it means that City are down to 10 men for the moment. We've now played 4.5 of the added 5 minutes. There's going to be at least another minute to add on to that for this hiatus. And I think Weimann's afternoon is done, is it? It didn't look like he's coming back on. He's walking around the pitch. They haven't made a change, have they? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so at the moment City are down to 10 men.
Yeah, but have they made... You're allowed 3 rafts, aren't you? 3 rafts of substitution to make 5, so maybe that's gone against them. So it doesn't cost them.
The referee handing the armband over to Matty James. Yeah, that is true. Something to... Another things for managers and coaching staff to think about. So the free kick from Manning on the halfway line, pretty much towards the edge of the area. Good strong header away from Sam Bell. Nahki Wells will give chase, but obviously being a man down, they haven't quite got the numbers that they would like, because that ball forward is awful from Swansea, and Max O'Leary desperately trying to get it forward quickly, and there's no one he can give it to, so he has to play it square to Pring, and Pring's just going to leather this one as hard as he possibly can. It's a defensive header won by Swansea and then just chipped forward by Manning. He knew that he wasn't going to be able to get on the end of that one, so he just puts it out for a throw. And Andreas Weimann walking slowly round the back of the Swansea goal at the moment. Down the line it goes. Semenyo wins the flick on, but Bell's being held there by Manning. Referee and assistant don't see it. Grimes under pressure. Does well to get it off the shins of Semenyo, and there is the final whistle. It's probably, well, I'm sure both teams would have not wanted to lose most of all, but I'm not sure either of them would have wanted a replay in 9 days time, but that's what we're going to have, Gary.
Certainly is, and City deserve a draw, I have to say. Swansea by far the better team in terms of control and possession in the first half without really putting City to the sword. City, they dug in there when they had to, and second half, change of formation, change of attitude, much better performance, and they could have nicked it in the end easily. Yeah, they created a lot of chances, lots of good balls across the box. I think the strikers will look at themselves and think there were more goals out there to be scored, and certainly across the other two halves, well, we know it's 427 days and counting, and now it's going to be a significant amount longer than that, but City don't seem like they're ever going to get a penalty. No,
Gary.
I mean, we can talk about till we're blue in the face. If they're not getting one of those two today, then they're never getting a penalty. For me, both penalties, we haven't seen the replays, of course, but in real time look like two clear fouls. Yeah, not given, so the penalty drought goes on, but they do remain in the draw for the fourth round of the FA Cup. That's at 4:05 this afternoon. They're going to need to win in South Wales if they're going to get through, though, because in this third round FA Cup match at Ashton Gate, the final score is Bristol City 1, Swansea City 1.